Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you like the content on this channel, then please like and subscribe it and share it with people. You know, our objective throughout this channel is to help people get into the military, to be as prepared as possible and to reach as many people as possible. So if you can do that, that would really help us. Today's video is the topic, am I ready to join the military? I've identified 5 areas where I feel like you need to answer this question. And so we'll go through them now in a methodical order. Number 1, the first area that I've identified is fitness. Am I fit enough to join the military? Now, every service, regardless of what country you're in, will have pre-joining fitness tests that you need to meet the standard to join. However, when we're working with our members on our programs, we focus on not the minimal standards, but the maximum standards. And the reason for this is twofold. Number 1, we want to produce really good members into the armed forces where we're not focused on minimal standards, but we're actually focused on the maximum requirement and how close to those standards can we hit. And number 2, this has a practical reason for it. When you're in recruit training, you're going to be learning tons of new stuff. You're going to be sleep deprived. You're going to be potentially hungry, cold, wet. If we can make you super fit, if you can go into recruit training really fit, then it takes away the pressure of the physical element of training. If you're going in simply scraping the minimal standards, then you're going to find recruit training even harder. So if you can tick that off, so to speak, like, I know I'm at the standards, I know I'm past the standards of physical fitness, it's really going to help you throughout your training process. Number 2, am I mentally prepared? So I joined the Royal Marines at 19 years old, very physically fit, was boxing at the time, so had that sort of that strength behind me, but mentally was very weak. And it was only when I got into training that I realised that. So the pressures of training would get on top of me really easily. When there was time domains to hit, and I wasn't reaching them, I'd feel like I was crumbling under it. And it's something I had to learn very quickly. So a few things you can identify in your own lives at the moment are, do you buckle under pressure? How do you handle responsibility? In a crisis, how do you respond? And how do you work when things are going against you? These are all things that are really going to be prevalent in your military career and also in recruit training. So identify it. Are you mentally prepared to join that sort of environment? If you're not, then it's just being really honest with yourself and going, do you know what, I need to go and get some more life experience. I need to go and get more understanding under my belt. I need to become mentally stronger, physically stronger. And the way I'm going to do that is by putting myself in more arduous situations, maybe doing some traveling, maybe getting a full-time job if you've come straight out of education. I'm really saying, right, for the next year or 2, I'm going to work and develop myself in this area. And then going, in 2 years' time, I'm going to reapply when I'm ready. Number 3, are you ready to leave home, friends and family? Obviously, a massive part of all military life is being away from loved ones. When I was in full-time with the Royal Marines, I was away roughly 8 months a year. I didn't have a wife or children, so it was easy to do. Whereas now, in the situation I'm in now with children and a wife, I would really struggle to be away 8 months a year. So search yourself, be honest with yourself. Are you ready to leave your family? You know, do you love being at your parents' house? Are you loved up? Have you got children? Are you prepared to sacrifice some of those friendships or relationships and the time spent with them to pursue your career in the military? Number 4, obviously a very poignant point. If you're joining, say, the Royal Marines or the Paras or sort of a fighting force like that, are you willing to risk your life, or are you willing to take life? This is a very serious but very real part of the job, that you might potentially find yourself in a life-threatening position or a position where you do need to take someone's life. Can you honestly look within yourself and say that you can do that, or you would be prepared to put yourself in that position for the good of the country and the good of those around you? You need to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. When you're sat at home watching a YouTube video about this, it doesn't really feel real. But when you're in theatres of conflict or operations, it becomes very, very real, especially when people around you are dying or losing limbs, etc. All of a sudden, the romance of the decisions that got you there is taken away, and all of a sudden you are met with this position of, I could die today. And so it's really being honest with yourself, having those honest conversations with yourself and friends and family, and saying, you know, are you prepared to do that? Are you prepared to put yourself in that position? And number 5, are you ready to lose freedom? The military is not a democracy, it's a kingdom. If your hierarchy tells you to do something lawfully, then you have to do it. There's no ifs or buts. If you don't do it, you're going to end up in jail. You're going to end up in a world of hurt with, maybe taking your wages taken away. It isn't like Civvy Street where you have a lot more freedoms. When you sign on the dotted line, you are signing away your freedom. You are now a member of the armed forces. You are now under a covenant that means that you have to respect those in leadership, that you have to do what they tell you to do. And you've lost your freedom. Are you prepared to do that? A lot of people aren't. A lot of people can't handle it. A lot of people get into training and they realise they can't be tamed, so to speak. And so this is something you've got to be really honest with yourself. On the flip note of that, if there is anything that is unlawfully given to you to do, obviously you've got to stand up and be firm in your morals and firm in your beliefs, and say that you're not prepared to do it. But there will be times where you do a lot of things that you don't want to do, and you just have to do it, and you have to do it with the right attitude as well. Guys, so there's 5 points right there that you can go away and ponder on, write them down, speak with family, friends, etc. Really be honest with yourself. I think in hindsight, joining at 19 years old, was I ready in all these areas? Probably not. But don't get me wrong, when you're in military training, a lot of these areas will get ticked off. So just because you can't say, yes, I'm ready of all 5 of these points, doesn't mean you shouldn't join. Just means to be aware that this is a weakness that needs to be identified and attacked. Going into training knowing that this is a weakness or somewhere you're underdeveloped will massively help you in your military career, because you can identify it and start attacking it. I hope that's helpful. Any comments, put them in the comments box below. Join us on Instagram or Facebook, where we're always giving loads of advice. And going forward, we're going to be putting lots of cool content out on YouTube. So please subscribe. Cheers, guys.